Hey viewers, welcome back to the channel. Hope you are doing extremely well. So today we are going to discuss interesting concept of the Java. Actually, it is not of the Java. It is used in almost all the programming language, whether it is C, C++, Python, or Golang, JavaScript. It is used in all the programming languages. Okay. So today we are going to understand the concept of loop. Okay. So before moving on to the concept, if you guys are new to our YouTube channel, then don't forget to subscribe. So let's try to understand. So what if I will say, or I will request you to print hello world 10 times on the screen? What you will do? You will write system.out.println 10 times and you will get the output. Okay, but what if I will say that I will perform your 10 lines of code into 2 lines by using the loop? What I will do, I will write some code like this. So 10 I plus plus, and within this curly braces I will like system.out.println, and I will get hello world. And let's try to run it. We get hello world 10 times. Okay, so you might be thinking that what I have written here, okay, this is nothing but the loops. So what are loops? Loops are nothing but that statement which helps to execute a particular lines of statement multiple times unless and until some condition get violated or some condition get achieved. That means, like, what I said right now is that loops is some statement. So it can be anything, like so before moving further, let me tell you the different types of loop in Java. So actually there are two different types of loop which are mostly used in Java, that is the for loop and the while loop. Now for both of these, we will at first try to understand that how they work, what are the different part of it, what is the syntax of using this loop, and what are the flowchart of this loop. Okay, so the first one is that there are two types of loop. Okay, and as I explained earlier, that what is the looping statement? So it is a statement. Okay, so when we write something here, it will become a statement. So looping is a statement which have some other statement. So each loop have some space of associated with it that will come under this curly braces. So what I was saying, each looping is nothing but some statements which will execute some statement. So when we write something within this curly braces, some statements within this curly braces, like I will write here statement 1 or statement 2. Similarly, I will write like here statement 3. Okay, so the looping was nothing. Looping is a statement which will help to execute other statement multiple times unless and until some condition get violated or unless and until some condition get achieved. Okay, so means it will work finite times until some condition get achieved. Okay, so as you can see in the definition of the loop, we are saying that some condition get achieved or some condition get violated. So to make the condition, just to achieve that condition, we need to start from somewhere and we need to move with some speed, and we have some destination point. Okay, so obviously here there are both of these three things. For each loop, there will be a starting point, there will be a ending point, and there will be a speed of the iteration of the loop. Okay, so what I was saying, let me erase it at first, just because at first we are going to discuss the for loop. Why we are going to discuss for loop? Just because it is the most frequently used loop, and it is the most liked loop of the student, just because here both of the three statements come under a single line. Okay, so what I was saying, let's try to understand it one by one. So here assume I have written some statement 1, some statement 2. This is nothing but my for loop. Here I will write something. Here I have the statement 3 and the statement 4. So now we are going to understand two concepts one by one, that is the flowchart of the for loop, and that what are the three different parts of the for loop. So the first part, as each journey has, is the initial part, means the starting point. Similarly, the for loop has some starting point, so that we call is the initialization part, named it as initialization part. Okay, Similarly, each journey has some the final point or the destination point. Similarly, we call it as a conditional part, just because we stop our for loop iteration the moment we achieved some condition or the moment we violate some condition. Okay, now for each journey there has to be each journey have some speed, uh, like how fast we'll move. Similarly, the for loop have the updation part or the incrementation part, that what is the speed of the for loop iteration. Okay, so I hope you get it, that for loop have three parts: initialization, condition, and updation. So what we are going to do within these three, let's try to understand it. Initialization part, as the name suggests, that here we initialize something. So we can initialize anything, whether we initialize the variables, we initialize something, okay, to start our loop. Okay, so let I write here I equals to 0. Now there is a condition, right? Till now, till when I need to iterate, or till when I want to make my loop to work. So I'm writing like I is less than 10. Okay, now the updation part. Okay, the updation part is just the speed of the looping, that how fast I want to iterate. I am writing is I plus equals to 2. Okay, means I want the speed of twice. Okay, so at the first part, so what will the flowchart? Let's try to understand the flowchart. Okay, at first we will discuss the flowchart of this for loop, and then we discuss the flowchart of the whole program in which the for loop is used. So at first, the initialization part takes place. That means whenever the for loop arises or the looping statement arises, the first thing is the initialization. So at first I get initialized with 0, and then after the initialization means the condition take place. So it moves like this. Let me take in yellow color. It moves like this. The condition take place. It checks whether 0 is less than 10 or not. So here it comes to know that yes, 0 is less than 10. So it moves to the statement part. It executes the statement 3. I assume that here I have printed my name, okay, or I have system.out.println hello world. So it printed line, okay. After statement checking, it moves to the updation part. It update its step, okay. So here we are updating the I plus 2. So now the value of I become 2. After updation, it again move to the condition. Now it will not move to the initialization part. Means initialization is only iterated or is only executed once throughout the life cycle of the looping statement. Okay, just because if we initialize each variable again and again in each iteration, then we will never reach to the conditional part, or we will never reach to our final destination. Okay, so after updation we reach to the conditional part, that is I is less than 10. It will check whether our condition is violated or not. Here it check whether 2 is less than 10 or not. Yeah, 2 is less than 10. It will again, okay, let me change the color. So now in the second iteration, it will again move, execute the statement 3. It will again reach to the updation part. It will update 2 plus 2. That is now my value of I become 4. Okay, again it will, from the updation part, it reaches to the condition part. It will check the condition whether 4 is less than 10 or not. Here it will come to know that yeah, 4 is less than 10. So it will again move to the statement 3. It prints system.out.println hello world. After statement 3, it reaches to the updation part. It again updates the value of I from 4 to the 6, and still it is keep going on. Okay, till when it will do all these things. It will do all these things till my value of I is less than 10. Value of I is less than 10. As soon as my value of I become 10, it will come out of the loop, just because it is not allowed to execute the condition in which the value of I is equals to 10. Okay, so let's try to understand the flow chart of the flow chart of the whole program in which the loop is used. Okay, so as we have discussed till now, we have discussed only the for loop flowchart. So what happened that when we use any loop within our program, we know the compiler start execution of the program from the main function. Okay, it start executing the main function at first, and one by one it keep on iterating throughout the whole program. So at first the compiler execute the statement 1, then the statement 2, and the moment it comes to this loop, it will keep on iterating this again and again unless the I is less than 10. Okay, means this statement 3 get executed 4 times at I equals to 0, at I equals to 2, at I equals to 4, at I equals to 6, and at I equals to 8. Okay, so this statement 3 get executed for 5 times. Okay, for all of these statements. Now moving to further, so moving further, when the I become 10, it will not execute it, it come out of this loop, the statement, and it will execute the statement force. Okay, so the looping statement work like this. Okay, and the moment I will become less than 10, it will go with the flow and execute all the other remaining statements. Okay, let's try to code on the compiler about the about the for loop, about the code of the for loop. Okay, for int I equals 0 as less than 10 I plus plus. Let's see how the value of I is getting incremented, and for which case the for loop will not execute. Okay, print ln, and here I'm printing the value of I. Okay, so let's try to run this code. So here you can see the loop get executed for the value of 0, the value of 1, the value of 2, the value of, okay, I am executing I plus plus. Let me make it I plus equals to 2. Okay, so here you can see the loop get executed for 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8, but it will not get executed for the 10. The moment when the value will become equals to the 10, it will come out of the loop. Okay, so this was about the for loop. Let's try to understand the while loop. The while loop work is same, but as in the for loop, we do the initialization, condition, and the updation part in a single statement, but in the while loop the flow of execution is little different. Actually, the way of writing the code is little different. So let me show you the syntax of the while loop. So before the while loop, we perform the initialization. Okay, initialization we perform before the while loop. Within the while loop brackets, we perform the conditional part. We check the condition within the while loop, and within the space of the while loop, we perform the incrementation part. Okay, here you can see the syntax of the while loop is a little different from the for loop, just because within the for loop the whole three things, that is the initialization, condition, and the incrementation part, get executed or get written into a single line. But here, initialization, condition, and incrementation, we are writing it in different places. The initialization takes place before the while loop, the conditional take place in the brackets of the while loop, and the incrementation take place within the space of the while loop. Okay, so let's try to code it. The one more thing about this is that the flow chart of the while loop is same as the for loop, means the while loop get executed unless and until some condition get achieved or some condition get violated. Okay, let's try to code it and try to understand its syntax. So I'm writing int I equals to 0. This is nothing but the initialization part. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a while loop while I is less than 10. This is the conditional part. Okay, within this, what I'm going to do is that at first I'm going to print the value of I and performing the incrementation part. This is called the incrementation part. Okay, let's try to run this. So here you can see this loop also got executed for I equals to 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8, but it will not get executed for I equals to 10. The moment value of I reaches to 10, it get out of the loop. Okay, so I hope you get the for loop and the while loop. This is the looping statements of the Java, and these loops are not only used in Java, it is used in almost all the programming language. The looping statements are important in programming just because it is used in almost all the concepts. It is used in solving so many problems. So I hope you get it. So if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe our YouTube channel, and share it with your friends. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy.